Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Crash Investigation, where we look at Daggerwin Survival Trucking series and what events are in here. Now, I'm going to do things in a slightly different order today because of Daggerwin not having very many things to discuss. So we're going to do episode 15 last. So we're going to start with episode 16. And here we are currently, I don't even remember where we are, but I know that Daggerwin's turned off pro mods because he's got the Iberia DLC. So let's just see what happens. Okay, so Daggerwin is clearly on the wrong side of the road.
Probably. To begin with,
there we go.
Of course, I keep forgetting which country. Driving.
So he's driving on the wrong side of the road. Now, this is a pretty clear-cut case. There is nothing to argue about here. He's driving on the wrong side of the road. I mean, Daggerwin was quite frustrated with himself for doing it anyway, so I can understand that. But yeah, that one is on you, I'm afraid, Daggerwin. So for the next one, we are coming up to a roundabout. In France, of course. I think the other one was in France as well. And let's just see what happens.
When we're there, picking up the trailer, and I don't think we're going to be travelling too far with the trailer. Lunatics! Lunatics! You crazy people. Oh, for crying out... Oh yeah, blame me. I actually got blamed.
So, you did get blamed. This one's a bit of an awkward one. Let's just go back a little. There we go. So, let's just watch. Okay. So, you can see the trucks are pulling out. Daggerwin's already aware that the trucks like to do this, so should be a little bit of a warning. Continues going at 21 miles per hour.
Lunatics.
Swerves to avoid the first truck.
Lunatics.
Brakes to let the second truck go through while shouting lunatics several times. Proceeds to pull forward, and there we go, there's the car just by there, who was obviously just behind this one. In fact, if we scrub back slightly, we can probably... No, we can't see him, he's hidden behind there. Swerve, brake, drive, crash. I'm going to say that this one is actually Daggerwin's fault. I've done a bit of digging and I couldn't find the rule about the roundabouts in France, anything specific about who gives way to who. However, I've driven in France and I've never had people pull out in front of me unless they think they're faster. Everyone usually tends to give way to whoever's already on the roundabout, which in this case was Daggerwin. So I really don't know why this car here decided to keep going when he saw him coming. He should have put the brakes on. However, because Daggerwin did do a bit of swerving through those trucks, kind of made a rod for himself there. So I think that one belongs to Daggerwin. Okay, episode 17. There is absolutely nothing to report on this one. I did not find anything that was worth noting at all. No bad driving, no penalties. So if anybody else saw anything that I missed, please put a comment and I will take a look. But yeah, I didn't see anything, to be honest. And so now we are back at episode 15. This one is a bit of a tricky one, and I know Daggerwin did actually invite an investigation for this one. So let's just watch it and then we'll discuss.
The final leg of our journey. Okay. I'm glad I brought that back to real time.
Daggerwin goes through the red light. Now, we're going to discuss this in detail. I just want to point out the next thing that Daggerwin it says.
Yes, when I learnt to drive, I was told that if you are doing a certain speed when the light turns to amber, you are obliged to go. I think if I had slammed on the brakes then to stop when they started changing, that would have been dangerous. That would have been more dangerous than continuing. But yeah, that's going to be an interesting one to review.
So we are going to review. Now, Daggerwin is dead right. I was taught the exact same thing. I learned to drive in the UK, and I was taught the exact same thing that if you're going too fast to slow down safely, which usually relies on a bit of a mirror check as well to see who's behind you and how far behind they are, then you should continue to go through, whether it's amber or in fact red. If it's amber, definitely, but if it changes to, you can go through the red light if you really have to, essentially. Now, we're just going to go back. I'm going to get it back to the position that I need to show you. Okay, so this is the point where the lights have literally just turned amber. You can see a little bit of a faint green there. We are approximately 20 meters away from that light, traveling at 37 miles an hour. Now, I've got some notes, let me just bring them up. So, I'll post these equations on the screen. The kinetic energy of the truck basically describes the movement energy. So, the equation is half mv squared, where m is the mass and v is the velocity. Now, I had a look online. The weight of Daggerwin's truck is approximately 8,200 kilos. He's got a 3-ton payload, so that's 3,000 kilos. And a standard curtain cider empty weight is 7,200 kilos. So the kinetic energy of the truck at this point here is 2.1 megajoules, which is 2,100,000 joules of energy. We are 20 meters away from the light at 37 miles an hour, which means 16.5 meters a second. That means it's going to be 1.2 seconds to slow to a complete stop, and we're going to have to dissipate 1.75 megajoules, or 1,750,000 joules of energy per second through the brakes into thermal to be able to stop in time. Compare that to a transit van. For the exact same conditions, it would be 0.5 megajoules at this point, which means you'd only have to dissipate 0.4 per second. Now, that's a difference of less than 25% in energy. Of course, that's because of the weight of the truck, but that's a very big difference. Now, as well as that, if we look here, so let me just zoom in a bit. These are for stopping distances and thinking distances, or stopping in total, thinking and braking, for cars. You can see that at 37 miles an hour, it would be between 23 and 36, around 31, 32 meters for a car to stop. That's including thinking and braking time, which means a car would not be able to stop in that time. A truck is much, much heavier. There is no way at all that it would stop. So, in this case, I'm going to say that the fine, which we'll check how much it is now, is not Daggerwin's fault. It gets reimbursement for this.
The final leg of our journey.
So, £315 is owed back to Daggerwin for that one. Definitely. So, I do hope you've enjoyed this episode. A little bit of science in here today. Any comments, any questions, please drop them below. And I thank you all for watching. Have a wonderful weekend. Goodbye.